Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Toju and you are watching TM Creatives. Yes, so welcome back. As you know, my name is Toju, and this is going to be the second session of our module, graphic design module. And as you all know, in our last class, I was able to introduce you to what graphic design is all about, what we're going to be covering all through this module. And also, I was able to set up the Affinity Designer. And as I said, I provided all the necessary links and information you need to set up. So by now, I'm assuming you watching the second video, I'm assuming you are ready to work. You know, you are ready to like put in the effort, and we're ready to like get to work on what we're supposed to do today. So today I'll be introducing you to the design tools on Affinity Designer. I'm going to be introducing you one after the other to the tools. Although I have to admit, some of the tools there I don't really use them as much because there are other ways of achieving what you want to achieve without actually using those tools. So, but I'm going to put you through. I'm going to put you through 95%, 96% of those tools that you need. You know, Affinity Designer is a very sweet software to use. If you are using 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 version, I mean, it's still okay. You can still work with that, you know. But I want to ensure that everyone has what they need, you know, and to get started. So as I said, today we're going to be looking at the different tools. When I mean different tools, we have so many tools that goes across not just Affinity Designer, but also goes across other design platforms. Meaning that if you are able to understand how to use these tools in Affinity Designer, going to places like Photoshop and the rest won't be a problem, you know, because most of these tools, all design software still carry it. Be it Figma, be it Affinity Designer, Photoshop, Illustrator. Some of these tools still have a form of still have a form of connection between them. So that is why I believe that it's something that anyone will be able to use. Like I said, Affinity Designer, that's a very sweet layout, sweet UI. So it's something that I know, I'm confident that you'll be able to use. So like I said, we are going to start knowing the tools, and for me, I'm going to be switching my screen so that we can get started on how and where to use the tools, where, when, and how to use these tools. You know, because it is very important for you to know the tools before you begin to, you know, put in your creativity into it. One thing I love about creativity is that creativity is very limitless. There's no limit. There's no limits to how creative you can be. Depending on what you have in your mind, depending on what you have in store to put, I'm confident that you can achieve anything. So let's get down to business. I'm going to teach you on the tools, and we're going to, you know, somehow maybe do a very simple design today. When I mean simple design, I'd like to start from things like maybe a simple logo, you know. But I've not gotten into the branding exercise yet, you know. But because I want you guys to understand how these tools are being used and ways to use them, I have to like show some other examples, you know. And on my description below, I'll be leaving the links to maybe some of the materials I'll be using in this tutorial, and I'll be making sure that you have all the necessary materials you need to also work on your own personal training, personal exercise, basically, you know. So also you'll be going home with a with like an assignment, you know, because I think giving you a task will actually challenge you to do better. And I also want to ensure that by the beginning of every module, I attend to those assignments which has been given in the last class. You know, so this is going to be the first assignment I'm going to be assigning at the end of the module, at the end of this class, basically. So that you'll be able to go back home and you know, try it. You watch this video and try it. For those who are just joining, welcome. Please don't forget to hit the subscription link below and subscribe, like, and support this channel. And one more thing, I want to say happy new year, because this is going to be a year of good things to come. This year is going to have a lot of things in store for everyone. We are going to have a lot of things to do this year, so stick with me and let's. Yeah, so this is my screen. Then I'm going to launch my Affinity Designer. So you can either, like me, I'm using 2023, so you can launch it. So it's loading now. So if you're using Affinity Designer 2019 to 2022, you should be seeing like an illustration, not Affinity Designer 2. Then when you come here, for those using 2019 to 2022, you won't be seeing this at first. So to see this, you press Ctrl N. You press Ctrl N to see it. Then yeah. So I want to explain what we have here. So here you can create an account with Affinity Designer and get the latest updates, presets, anything you want. Then you have new, right? This new contains everything we're going to need. So then we have open. This is to open our existing project, or you can even open PDFs. You can open pictures, anything you want. So that's what that part is all about. So then we now have recent. So recent, it allows you to see your recently designed projects, stuff like that. Then we have templates. Then we have samples. So for those using 2019 to 2021, you won't be seeing you won't be seeing samples. You only be seeing from accounts to templates. But I'm going back to new to explain what you're seeing here. So because for designers, it is very important for designers to know their dimensions, right? But thankfully for thankfully for technology and innovations, they've decided to make things easier for us and giving us like different presets for different sizes that you are going to be working on, and they even made sure that they gave it a name, so that you don't get lost, or you don't get stranded whenever you are looking for anything. So the very first thing you need to know is the very first thing you need to see now is the different categories of sizes, project sizes that we can have, or rather like dimension sizes. So when you go to press ready, right? When you go to press ready, you should be seeing different sizes from there. So you should be seeing things like A4, A5, and the rest, right? So for here, I'm just going to go to so we have devices, we have press ready, we have all this, right? So this is a very good asset to have in terms of to make things easy for us, So now the difference is that, I don't know, Affinity Designer 2023, it seems you can't really like view everything, you can't seem to view everything, but nevertheless it's still fine. So now, because of me, I'm very familiar with the sizes, so I'm just going to explain it from here. But if you are using 2019 to 2022, you should be seeing the different sizes here, when you go to print and everything. So you can click on any one you desire, but I am going to be creating a normal standard size. That's 1080 by 1080. So that 1080 by 1080 is what most social media use, then Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the rest. That's what they use, some of them, that's what they use for their posts. So what I'm going to do next is, now you're going to see something like what they call layouts. So for those who are using Affinity Designer 2019 to 2022, you should see your layout at the right here, right? While your paper preset is at the left, So at the right here, for those in 2019 to 2022, you'll be seeing all these things: layout, color, and duration. So I'm going to be explaining them. So the part where you have the page width and the page height, right? That is just talking about what exactly is the height of your paper, of your workspace at the width. Just think of it as somebody carrying an A4 paper. Let's say you pick A4 paper. You just put like an A4 paper on the table. That's just the way it is, you know. And that A4 paper, you can now give it different sizes you want. You can leave it as the default A4 paper. You can also cut it into whatever you want it to be. Now, we also have the document unit, so that is millimeters, pixels, and the rest. You can pick it from here, so it doesn't stop you. It doesn't stop anything from there. So because sometimes whatever you are designing can come in different document units. It can be in pixels and the rest. So what I normally do is that when I see any design and I'm trying to like get maybe some specifics, maybe if I'm doing something that has to do with web based, I look at the property, okay, the pixels, then you can convert that pixel to any other document unit. You can just use online, convert pixel to so it will give you sorry, it will give you your answer. Then we also have what they call DPI, right? This DPI has to do with quality, the quality of your design. This DPI basically helps those that are into printing, So let's say you design like a brochure or a big billboard design, Of course, you want to make sure that the billboard design is very rich in color, it's very rich in quality. So you are going to give it a very very high number of DPI, So it's not like pixel, something has to do with pixel, So like display pixel or something like that. So that's what it does. So you can come here, you can pick whatever DPI you're trying to use. So me, I like to just leave it the way it is on 300, Then the next thing you're going to be seeing is something called create artboard. Now, creating of artboard think of creating of artboard as you are creating pages. If I don't tick this, it means that I'm only restricted to one page. But luckily, even when we create our project, inside our project, we can still create artboards. So by default, you can decide to click on this. When you click on this, you are automatically saying that okay, you want to start creating different pages or different pages to carry out different things on the same projects. So that's what that one does. So this prefer linked to prefer embedded. This one just talks more about okay, how do you want your images to come in? You can put in your image as a link, or you can pick them embedded on your computer. Like drag and drop. But that's it. Then the next thing we have is color profile. This color profile is very important because this also has to do with printing. If let's say you are printing something, most printers now, depending on the kind of person that is printing it or the kind of machine you are using, but most printers tend to use RGB8, because that's just the standard. This is like the standard, except maybe you are going to use another color. This color profile now, what it does is that now, whatever color profile I pick here now, for example, if I pick color profile for CMYK, the colors might not be the same. The colors might not be the same. As you can see, the color might not be exactly the same. Because now the color red in your RGB8 can be different from the color red in your CMYK. Your CMYK can be giving maybe pinkish red, while your RGB8 will be giving confirm red. So those are the difference. That's the difference. Then if you know, under it will now have what they call transparent background. Now this normally helps out in things that maybe you are creating a logo, you want to remove the background, so you can come here, you can click on it. So to take away the background totally, as you can see on our display here, if you notice on our display here, it has taken the background of the white, but if I remove it to add it back, so that's what that place does. That's what that place does. So just for us to have an idea on what we are doing and the things we need to do. So the next thing we're going to look at is margins, bleed, and scale. Those ones you don't need to really touch them. Margins is just being specific. Maybe you want this blue line to come, maybe to be a bit more closer to each other, or spacing. So that one will just specify where your design will start from, or where your content or whatever you are doing on your space will begin from. But we're just focusing on this color profile and this. So let us go ahead and create our project. So I'm going to purposely click on create artboard. Then I'm going to set my pixel, right? I'm going to set my pixel. I'm going to put 1080, right, by 1080. So yeah, then I can decide to save this preset. You can save this preset. So for those using 2019 to 2022, on top where you have your custom, right, once you've put this in, you see like a plus button beside or something, and you click on it. So that will save the preset. But for those using this version, what you just do is you come up here, now go to save presets. So if I go to save this preset, I'm going to save it as social, let's call it social media dimension, right? So I realized that we are the ones going to be saving our own preset. So if you are using 2019 to 2022, you have your presets there already. You just go to where they are. So if you are looking for the social media design, you can either create your own like this, like I've done, or you go to where they have web, then scroll down, you see social media there and different other sizes. So this is very important because every post or every content that you do or anything that you do, they have their own dimension, they have their own specific dimension and document units. For example, if you are going to use a card, if you are going to like design a business card, you are using inches, right? If you are going to do something like billboard, you are using feet, you know, you're using feet. So if you are going to do something like a normal social media post, you are using pixels, or any other thing that has to do with pictures. But it doesn't matter because you can all these things you can still convert them to the desired document units that you are looking for. So as I said, then you come to create artboard, right? So we have everything set. As you can see, I saved my presets already. So I'm clicking on it, create. So now we are here. So this particular space you are seeing, this is what they call your workspace. Now for those using 2019 to 2022, you will see like a view asset thing here, right? There's no need to bother yourself about that. If you're using 2023 and you're not seeing it, it doesn't mean anything. So what you are actually seeing is for those using lower versions, it means that those are icons that you can easily use whenever you want to work. Sometimes maybe all these all these tools, they are not available. You can easily, like, in case you don't want to go online to go and look for them, you can easily like drag and drop them from there. So it doesn't really matter. But for those using 2023 like me, you have to you actually have to like maybe bring them in yourself. But it doesn't matter. I mean, that's what makes it fun, right? That's what makes it fun. So I'm going to start explaining the tools. So like I said, this is your workspace. This your workspace is where everything goes. Now, if you notice, because we clicked on Artboard, right? That is why you're seeing the name Artboard here, right? So if you didn't click on Artboard, you will only see this white stuff. You're not going to be seeing it like Artboard. Now, mind you, again, I'm pretty sure some of you are wondering why you are having maybe like a white background, this sort of a dark one like my own, right? So the reason why is because I have made some adjustment to my own earlier. So what the adjustment I made is this. Now click outside, then it comes to document setup. So sorry, come to preferences rather. So under preferences, right, you go to user interface. So that user interface. This also implies for those using lower versions. Does not matter. It's the same thing. So when you see where you have artboard background gray level, right? I reduced mine. So you can see that this is something you'll be having at first. So you can actually like reduce it. I like to reduce it because it makes me to see everything I'm doing easily. That's all I'm just going to change. So you can just click on OK and close. So I'm going to explain what you're seeing here. So the very first thing, like I said, is your workspace. After your workspace, you are seeing something at your right, something at your left. Everything you see at your left, these are the tools you'll be using, and they are even more than this. Because there are other things up here. These are tools set up here, and these are other tools set up now. Now, I want to also say that whatever icon you click on, their properties always appear on this line. You see where you have this document setup and preferences. Whenever you click on any icon here, the corresponding properties of those things replace whatever you have on document setup and preferences. That's what I want to say. It they all appear there. So meaning that you can actually see all the properties. So for example, if I click on Artboard 2, you can see that the properties has changed to whatever Artboard 2 properties is all about. But if I click on move tool now, this is our default tool that we'll be using, which makes us to navigate around like this and do like this and the rest. So that is it. Then, like I said, the first two you are seeing here. Okay, first let me start from the beginning here. So we have the file, we have the edit, text, layer, and the rest. So this ones you get to get to know more about it as we progress. But basically, file, it allows you to see to see everything you can do about the file itself. While edit helps you to see what you can do inside the file. You know, text to allows you to see what you can things that you can manipulate that is within your workspace and within your project. Layer, layer. This is your layer here too. I'm going to explain this also. But first, the first thing I want to do is explain the tools you are seeing here. I'm going to try and explain as much as I can. So the very first thing you are seeing here is your move tool, allows you to move around. Second one you are seeing here is your artboard tool. Remember I said before that if you don't create an artboard from the beginning, right, you can still create it inside the project. This is what I mean. So when you want to create an artboard inside the project, you just click on the artboard tool, right? Then on your property sets or your property nav here for that particular tool. You know, I said that every property for any tool icon you click, they always appear here. So the property for artboard tool, this is it. So I can come here and say, okay, I want to put in more artboards. So how can I do that? So I've already clicked on this. So I'll just click on insert artboard. You can see that's created a second artboard. And not only has it created the second artboard, it has also brought it into our layers here. What is our layers? Our layers is more like how all your designs are arranged. You know, you can either bring it up, bring it down. You know, so it's like layer, that's how everything is arranged. From layers, you can see the total things you have in your project. You know, so maybe there's something you are missing or there's something that's not in the right place. That's how it is. But now because we are creating artboard, now this artboard, each of them now will have their own embedded page, right? So like this artboard one now, it has its own page, meaning that whatever property we are putting in here now, it will create like a sub category under artboard one. If we do the same for artboard two, it will create it for artboard two. So that's just how it works. That is just how it works. So like I said, that's just how it works. So the first thing I'm going to do, so like I said, I've explained that artboard too. So now in the case whereby you don't want to duplicate this exact same scaling tool, you can come to document and pick whatever other dimension you are looking for, you know, and you can also specify it later on. So when you specify, when I mean specifying is that when you click on this artboard tool, right? When you click on it, under here you see what they call transform. Transform here now, we see our width and our height. We can change it here to anything we want. So in case maybe you're working on something else, you can change to anything you want. But you can easily manipulate your document. You know, you can easily manipulate your document. That's what I love about it. So, like I said, we have our artboard tool, then we have our node tool, right? So then what does this node tool do now? Now, if you also observe, right, some icons don't carry some special stuff. Now, each of these icons, they carry what they have like a sub icon, like meaning that there's more than one tool they can do here, but they both do the same thing to some points. You know, they both do the same thing to some point. So if you want to do that, you click on this little arrow under node tool. You can see this. But we're making use of the node tool. You know, they still do the same thing, but in a very different way. So, but node, I prefer using node more. What node tool does is this. Node tool helps to further manipulate the shape of anything you put here. You know, I'm going to demonstrate what I mean very soon. So what I mean is this. Now let's say, please just follow. Just don't mind me. So just follow what I'm doing here. Now we've created like a square, right? Now this square we want to use a node tool on it. How do we do that, right? Now I want to use a node tool on this square. You click on the node. You click on it like this, right? Then now one thing about node is that node can only work for tools that have been converted to curve. And we converted to curve, right? Now when I've created this shape, right? After creating this shape, you can see that on our properties bar, all the properties for that shape has appeared. Then we have what they call convert to curve. What convert to curve means is that it will stop. It will right now this software recognizes our shape as rectangle, but if it's convert to curve, right? It is custom, meaning that you can make that rectangle to be anything. And if you can make that rectangle to be anything, it will just turn it to curve. So when I go to convert to curve now, right, you can see that from our layers it has turned to curve. And if you notice, our point has changed to like this. The point that was there has changed, and our node tool now is enabled. So this note now, what it does is this. Now let's say I want to make this rectangle to be something else like this. It helps to just manipulate everywhere you see. So you can see this. So clicking on the point now will make me adjust the edges. But holding clicking so yeah, like I said, we can manipulate it. Also, I want to apologize for the cutting in and cutting out. I'm only able to record for 10 minutes. Then it cuts again. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe I'm not using the right software. But, I'll work on that. That's not a problem. So, like I said, this is what we did. We are manipulating the shapes, right? So you can pick from any corner. Now, if you pick from any corner, you're able to manipulate the edges. But if you pick from outside those points, you're able to like curve those areas that you want to curve. Now, another fun part is that if you use any of these properties, right? If I click on one of the places here and I pick smooth, you can see this. If I pick smooth, it just perform exact action of that property. If I pick sharp, you see this. If I pick smart, so different things that you can do. You can even add more points. So this you can add more curve points, more smooth to make it smoother. So those are things you can actually do. It's a very powerful tool. So you can just play around with that and see what you get. So that is it for the node tool, right? Like I said, this node tool is able to help you manipulate shapes. It helps you to manipulate shapes into whatever it is you want. Then we have the contour tool, right? Now I have to admit this tool I don't really use it that much, but what it does is that it helps to provide more like an intrude it helps to provide like an intrude picture to any image or any shape. For example, if I draw a square here and I go to contour tool, let's see what happens. So you see this? So it's providing more like an intrude, like you can intrude and you can extrude out. So let's say I give this a color, right? Let's give this a color. Let's see what. You can just follow exactly what I'm doing, it helps you to understand it better. So now this has given like a sort of stroke that we cannot really see, but basically that's what it does. It gives it like an extrude. I think it's more easier to see with maybe images when you work with images. But yeah, that's basically what it does. Just helps to increase and decrease like this. So the next tool that we have, right, is the corner tool. So this corner tool, right, what it does is that so corner tool, this is what it does. Let me show you. So corner tool now, remember now this part they are all sharp edges, right? What corner tool does is this: it helps to focus on those corners, right? Then all what you have to do is go to those corners, right? Our icon will change to something like this. If you want to zoom in, you press Ctrl Z, Ctrl plus. If you want to zoom out, Ctrl minus. Then, if you're using a mouse that has a middle cursor, you can just scroll in and scroll out while holding shift. So when you go to these edges, right, you see that a shape will appear. Just hold it and drag it in. That's what the corner tool does. See this? So that corner tool, that's what it does. It helps to give something like a border radius to our shape. See this? That's what it does. So can always come here and do it. You see? So that's it. To undo what you've done, you press Ctrl Z. Then after that, we have the pen tool. I don't know if you guys have heard of the pen tool before, but this is just used to create your own custom shape or anything. Most people use this to draw illustrations also. If they are really good in using the pen tool, you can draw illustrations, very nice illustrations. What some people do is that they bring in an image here, then they trace the image using the pen tool. No, so sorry about that. You can get different outputs from that. So that's what it does. So that's what the pen tool does actually. So something like this. So once you created, remember I told you that any icon you click here, the properties always appear here. So mean that the properties will include, you can also like put in colors. So you can see this. So this is like a normal stuff we created with pen tool now. We just gave it random stuff. So this stroke affects the outside colors. You see, you can either make it big or small. Sorry, let me click on it. You can make it big or small. You can see just the basically like the outline. People know it as the outline, so that's another word for it. The outline. So that's it. Um, you can decide not to give it any line at all. So that's it. Just cancel it. So you can try other properties here, but that's basically what it does. So the next tool that we have here is the pencil tool. A bit different. So pencil tool is maybe if you are using like a tablet, it makes it easier. But pen tool is more like you're using like a mouse, you know. So this one is easy to just draw to the point and everything. So you can always see the controller here. Now we want to make our drawing more smoother. We can set it to automatic, right? And we can then we can enable the stabilizer. Stabilizer means that it will be smoothing out your rough patches for you. So something like this. You can see it's smoothing it out. Not my rough patches. That's what it does. So well, I'm just using this to explain all the tools, because there's no way I want to demonstrate, give an example that I won't have to do something on my workspace. So after that, we also have under the pencil tool now we have other tools there too. We have the vector brush tool. So maybe this is still the same thing, but more like in a brush form, you know. So doesn't really there's nothing much there. Then we also have the knife tool. Uh, I don't know if people that have this in Affinity, what knife tool does is it just helps to like just with the shapes, you know. You're able to do whatever you want with the shapes. If there are any areas that you want to cut, so something like this. Well, if you're using 2019 to 2020 and you're not seeing this tool, don't worry, it's not a big deal. There are all these tools you hardly get to use them. That's it, you hardly get to use them. So the next tool that we have here is actually the fill tool. Now this fill tool still works the same way as coloring your shape. So what you have to do is go and pick the shape, go and pick the color basically. Sorry, go and pick the color. So pick the color from here. Sorry, a bit here. I think you can see this. So shape tool just allows you to give it shape, any shape that you want. You know, so you can any color that you want. Sorry, any color that you want. So you can set it to linear. So linear is like you are mixing two colors together to create something nice. So this is linear for you. So if you are creating linear, you can still come here and give it a normal shape if you want. You can see, doesn't change anything. A normal color if you want. So then you can come here and give it a linear. So linear is like you are mixing two colors together. That's what linear means. Linear mixing two colors together, like gradients. Like linear gradient. Yes, that's it. So that's what linear does. Same thing goes for all these other ones. All these other ones too. You set it in the kind of way you want it. Like when you say elliptical means that there's a small blurry circle inside these colors, but we don't know where it is. So that thing is helping to separate the colors. So that's what it does. So radial, that's the same thing, and basically that's just it. So that's it. So that's what it does. Then we can even do that to affect the stroke also. So basically what fill tool does is that it gives whatever object or whatever thing you've created in your workspace, it gives it a particular color, either in a single color or a linear color or elliptical color or conical color. You can just play around with it. That's the idea. Just play around with it. You can see this. You can do wonderful things with it. Just play around with it, just the same way I'm doing my own here. Because that's where I get to learn about things like this. I play around with it, and so
in case you don't want to use eraser to start erasing, transparency tool is what we're talking about. So like I said, when you select the transparency tool, you can do that. So now the beauty about transparency tool is that when you remember before you first to use it, you have to click on whatever it is you want to use it on. So you come to your layers, you look for whatever it is you want to use it on. Thankfully, each of these your layers they produce their own image of whatever it is you are selecting or you want to select. So when you select on curve, on the curve tool, right, you are seeing this, right? So now transparency tool, now the beauty about it is that it blends with whatever background color you are that you have given it to be on. So let's say I make this black, right? I click on the transparency tool. You can see that that's blended with that. So that's the beauty about the transparency tool. It easily blends with things. So you can actually like fade this out. You mostly see all these things in all these movie posters whereby they put a picture there. You see something like a black something that just cover the person from the bottom up to some level. So you now write like a text or something on it. So let me give you an example. Sorry about that. Let me give an example of what I'm trying to say. I love to like just make sure that I'm giving examples so that they're all on the same point. So let me go and bring an image. I'm going to still teach you how to bring an image. Actually a fan of I'm actually a fan of of animation and manga, so I'm just gonna use this. So I come here. I'm currently highlighted on the image, right? So I come to transparency tool and I do this. Do this. So now because it's on black and I know that people will be able to see, I can write whatever text I want to write on it. So I can imagine just put it like something like shonen, jump, you know. Then we'll come here and we'll pick our fonts. I think I'll still provide you guys with some of my best fonts I like to use. But depending on the project, basically. Depending on the project. So that's like shonen jump. Then you can now put a small description here. As this anime time. You know? Something like this. So something like this. So that's what the transparency tool does. So you can see that it has helped us to fade out from the top down. So I can also do the same thing to the top. So if I click on it again, you see this small level you are seeing it, this small tiny thing you are seeing it. That's what helps us to adjust where you want the stuff to reach. So let's say I bring this part down because this part is one that has the black. So if I bring this black down here, you can see that that's taking everything black. It now make all this place visible. You see, because our black is not down. So that's just it. It's a very nice tool and I enjoy using it a lot. I use it a lot. So that's it for that. So the next thing we do is we're moving on to the next tool called place image tool. So place image tool is the same thing that we did before. This image tool is used to bring in images or anything you want to bring in. You can even bring in PDF, because that's how powerful Affinity is. You can bring in PDF. You can even bring in Photoshop outputs, so you can bring them in. So see? Now when you select the image, right, it will not drop it instantly. You can see that our icon has changed to like an arrow pointing down, so meaning that our cursor right now is holding the image. So what you just do is left click and you have dropped it. But this is a project, so it's everywhere, it's big and stuff. So that is our stuff. You can see it. Then mind you, if you are going to be resizing images, right, like the way I'm doing it, don't just distort your image. I mean distort. Let me show what I mean by distort. When you are doing this, don't distort your image, please, because that's the mistake that most people that are not familiar with design normally do get. Right? It's good for you to know that. Because you can see now this image now is in the right width, height, and perfect scaling, right? So I mean distorting your image. You don't do something like this, like because you want it to fit. You not do something like okay, like this. You do like this. You are stretching it out. This is distorting it. What you just do is that you pick it from bottom, from the top left. Then you expand it. Just hold your control key and be expanding it, be dragging it like this. Or you pick it from the bottom right or left. Basically, just pick it from the top left or right, or bottom left or right. It helps. You understand? Because it will make everything to be equal. Because that what about design, like you have to make sure that your images are not so distorted. You know, because people want to see it is rather beautiful when everything is perfectly scaled, not when it is distorted. It's not looking like all these low quality images, you know. So that's what you do. So that's basically it. So the next thing that we'll look at is sorry, I forgot to put on my glasses. Apologies for that. Let me just wear these glasses. So the next thing that we have to do is I'm looking for the next tool, that is vector crop tool. I use this one a lot too. So vector crop tool is just like a crop tool basically to cropping your images or anything you have to get. So that's what it does. So you can see that our point has changed. So this is just it. Then we have then we also have the shape tools. All these ones are the shape tools. So creating your shapes. So you can also look at the properties and manipulate them as you want. You know. So that's just it. Then we have these are all the shape tools. So you can come in for more shape tools if you want. Then if you don't see the shape tool that you desire, you can as well go to pen tool and create your own shape. And you can create your own shape. So for me to do this thing curvy like this, you have to hold before you get to the second point. After you created your first point, and you hold shift and you press click again, you are creating a straight line. But when you now press left click again and you hold it like this, then you turn it. Just move your mouse like this and turn it. You are changing the shape how it's moving, you know. So that's just it. So we have the shape builder tool, right? So this is just to build shapes, but basically I don't make use of this, so it's okay. I don't make use of this, so but basically just like make shapes. But like I said, remember when I said that several tools there they can be used for different things. The same thing you are trying to achieve, you can achieve it with any other tool here. That pen tool can also do the same as what the shape builder tool is doing. But this shape builder tool is doing it in a very complex manner. That's just it. So the next thing that we have here is our text tool. Sorry, let me just delete this. That's not good. Okay, sorry. Delete this. So the next tool that we have here is our artistic text tool. So artistic text tool meaning that you can type just you can only type on one line straight. You cannot until you press enter before you go to the next line, right? And this one does not restrict your frame. But now you can see this, you can go like this and not restrict your frame. But in terms of, let's say you write something big, like maybe like a magazine, you're designing a magazine, and you know magazine, their stuff are always aligned, you know. So to do that, you come to this small arrow and this letter A icon, that's the text icon. Then you pick frame text tool. So what frame text tool does is that it puts it in a frame like this, then you can type as much as you want. So all what you just do is that it will make sure that it goes to the next line when it has gotten to the edge of that particular frame. You can see, so it's the same thing. So that's what it does. Okay, in that. So then we now have the color picker. So now this color picker, I also enjoy using it because it is a tool that helps me out in terms of maybe I can't figure out which color this thing belongs to. And by the way, like I said, no place images in two places. This is why I'm telling you that there are a lot of tools here on this particular software that there are other ways of reaching out, of doing it, you know. So we have the place tool here. I want to just go and pick an image. So that image, I want to do the color picker tool. Let's say I pick this beautiful design now. Then I now create a shape. I want to give this shape this particular color, but I don't know the kind of red it is looking like. Right? I'll just come to color picker. I just pick the color. You can see. So we're trying to give it the same color. sorry, I've already done that, but I want to explain it again because like I said, my recording doesn't have like 10 minutes and it's cut off. So forgive me with the transitioning of different video parts. That's what you're going to be seeing. So basically, now I want to make this color the same shape as the same color as this design here. So I can click on this, right? Instead of me using the color picker tool, because the color picker tool, let me know that I don't really like using it from here. I prefer to use it from here because it's more specific that way. So I've clicked on the shape that I want to give the color to. Then you see this icon here, that is like a white circle. Just left click on it, hold it, pick, go to the color that you desire to make it to give, right? Select it, then you can see that our color has changed to red. Then click on it. You can see that we have the same colors. We have the same colors now. We can use it. So you can see that it's easier that way. Then if you want to give it the same stroke color, same thing. You see? It makes it easier because color picker might not be very specific. That's why I said there are some of the tools there that you use that I don't really make use of it that way. There are other ways I do it. So that's it. Then star picker tool. I don't really use this. I won't lie. I don't see any use for this because color picker is enough. Then we have the measure tool. So those who are using maybe 2019 to 2022, you might not see this. The measure tool is probably you want to know, makes it easier for us to know how what's the size of our design. So look at it. It's easy. So don't decide on your design. So I actually like the tool because it will really help a lot. And I like the new update. So I'll say kudos to Affinity Designer for adding that. Then we have area tool. The area tool is just to help us know the scaling and everything of the image. More about the image. So you can do that. So it says it's giving us more information. So I think it's just for you to know information about each image that you put in. Then we have the zoom tool. Now remember I said that you can press Ctrl plus to zoom in, Ctrl minus to zoom out. You can just if you can't be doing that, you can just come to the zoom tool and click in. If you want to now click out, you can just come into your properties and do like to see the same thing. So that is it for this tool here, and I hope I've explained that as best as I can. If you don't really understand that, let me know. So I'm just going to use this class to cover this particular first phase of the tools. So like you already know all the tools here, from the move tool to the artboard tool to the node, the contour to the corner, pen, vector brush or pencil tool, knife tool, fill tool, and the rest. You already know all these tools now. Then here, like I said, these are our layer. So I want to explain this layer properly again. So layer, now let's say I have two stuff like that. By the way, if you want to duplicate, right? There are two ways of duplicating Affinity Designer. Without hold Control, press Control and left click and hold and drag it out like this. Then release your left click first. It does it. Or you can just press it and press Control J. So you see that as I press Control J now, it has duplicated there. So this is how a layer works. So as we are like this, if we now decide to say, okay, we want to move this thing under, right? Because this is the first one, right? And this is the second one. We want to move it under. Just press Hold Control and press curly brace. You see, Control open curly brace. We will move it down. We'll move it down. Control close curly brace. We'll move it up. Right. So this is it. Or you can simply just come here and do it manually. You can see. No man, just drag it down. So that's the way onions works. So that's the way the layers work. So I said onions. That's the way the layers works. So that's the way we actually do the layers. And to be honest, it's a very good tool. These layers help us to see all the activities. Now, if you realize now, this particular one is just under Artboard 1. Artboard 1 has its own entire page. But oops, something is out of place. So if you notice this particular image that we just brought in, it's not in any artboard. If you save this image now, right, it's not in any artboard. So let's move it inside. So you can just manually drag and push it in. Yeah, it's in now. So if you close this now, okay? So That's how it is. So with these layers, you can do a lot of things. You can oversee all the activities going on. So I'm just going to stop here for today. So this is part one of the design of introduction to the design tools. So the part two we're going to be looking at pixel persona. We're going to be looking at export persona. That's what we're going to be looking at. So yeah. So just stay tuned. You can actually practice on the ones you already know. Because I want this to be like a gradual process. You don't have to rush this. As you know those tools now, you know what they are meant for. Now, in general, just now all the tools that we've introduced to today, these are tools that are used to make pixel designs. I mean pixel design. I'm not talking about pixel like little pixel. Like no pixel. I mean like images to manipulate images or do anything and create vectors. That's what they are used for. The second segment called pixel persona now is used to actually manipulate pixels. You can manipulate images, drag, like cut images from somewhere, put it somewhere else. So that's the way Affinity Designer broke it down for us. Then I'm going to be explaining all these characters. All these things you are seeing here, they're meant for text. They're only meant for text, that's all. You can see different things you can do in the text. So I'm going to be explaining that in part two. So I'm going to stop here for today, and I hope you join me next week Sunday. I'm going to drop more information on that because, like I said, but before we finish this design introduction to design tools, at the end of the design tool class, we will be doing a small logo. So but before we can do the logo, we have to at least understand what we are doing. And from this class, I'm going to introduce you to the principles of design. You need to know the principles of design as well. Things that guide the use of design. You don't just contradict colors or use anything you want to use. So yeah, those are the things I would like to bring up in our next class. And please stay tuned and yeah, stay tuned. So I will stop here for today. Thank you.
So there you have it, guys. I were able to go through this second class, and I just want to do a recap of what we've learned from or what we are supposed to have learned at the end of the class. So we covered the design tools. We covered the tools like the move tool, pen tool, contour tool, and the rest. And then we looked at the layers. Then we tried to understand how all these tools work, and I tried to make sure that I show you alternatives on how to use other tools. Just like as we're trying to use the color picker tool, instead of picking the color picker from there, because that one is more confusing. You either try to make sure that you create the shape that you want first. Then on the shape properties, you go to fill, take that little circle there, pick the color of your choice from the image or something, then you get it. So those are the things I was trying to explain, that there are multiple ways to carry out all these tools that we use, and sometimes you don't have to use the complicated way of doing it. Just use the simple way, which is what I did today. So this is actually called this introduction to the design tool part 1. So next week Sunday we'll cover part 2. In part 2 I'm going to be talking about pixel persona, because pixel persona has to do with manipulation of images. Because I'm still going to explain how you can remove images from backgrounds, extract this person from this image, extract this person from this image, and create something wonderful. So after introducing the pixel persona, we will then work on how we can make like a sort of logo, but when I'm going to be teaching that logo, I'm also going to be explaining the principles of design, because that is one of the things I believe beginners or people should know about, because principles of design is very important and it's very key, to anything you are doing. Once again, I want to maybe apologize for the cutting at some point, because the software I was using, it actually allows me to record for 10 minutes, but I tried my best to make sure that I provide like a continuation. So yeah, that's it. So I'll make sure that the video is delivered properly and everything is okay, so but I hope from this class we're able to learn a lot, and I hope we continue to tell people about TM Creatives, because this channel will actually help people that are beginners. I am also open to comments. I'm down in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow. And once again, I want to wish you everyone happy new year. Welcome to 2023, the year of good news. You know, I see this as a year of good news. I see this year as a year of positive, or a year of positivity. Nothing like you will not hear negative news or whatsoever. And you know, make sure you enjoy this new year with your family. And you know, good luck to everyone out there. If you have any question, if you have anything you need to ask, please feel free to comment on this video section. And like I said, I'll be dropping some of the links you need, maybe to some fonts. You know, I'm also going to put you through how to install those fonts. You know, that will be in the next class. So please feel free to discuss with me. I'm open. I'm ready to answer your questions. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.